What's going on, Military Cashflow family? Hey, today we got a great guest, an excellent guest. It was such an awesome episode. But before we talk about that, what's going on with you today, Mike?
Nothing much, man. My blood's pumping because it's Halloween weekend and we just had a good episode. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go scare the shit out of people. No, I'm playing. No, I'm not doing much, man. Relaxing. I'm not going to do anything for Halloween. I'm not even giving out candy, man. Just relaxing, watching some TV. And getting ready for next week. I am going to Belize next week, so I'm happy about that. Team trip, our annual team trip is coming up. So yeah, man. Besides that, I'm chilling, maxing, relaxing, all cool.
Gonna be out there in Belize. I know the weather's gonna be nice out there, right? It should
man,
be
it better be. Yeah. it better be, man. We get one of these a year. That shit better be nice. But even if it's not, I remember we were in, I think we were in Tulum last year and it was raining on us, but I mean, hell, it was still
in a different country. You get to experience some different things, man. Like that's exactly what it's all about. Excellente. Exactly. And you're bringing the girl along with you this time too?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Should be along.
Excellent, man. So you guys will have hopefully you guys will sneak off and have a little bit of romantic, little stuff going on there. So that should be cool.
I mean, as long as ain't no big ass bugs out there, we're gonna be good, man. Because I'm gonna turn unromantic real quick. I'll be screaming and shit. No, but
I thought you were gonna say that for your girl, man. You're like,
nah, just me. Let it be something bigger than my hand, bro. I'm pulling out a gun. I'm fighting this thing. So we'll see. I watched too many of those National Geographic TV shows, man, where they saw those like tarantulas that eat parrots. It's like, come on, bro. That's just too goddamn big. You ain't never seen those spiders that they're literally eat birds, but I mean, not like a dove or a pigeon.
Yeah, that's a little.
That's a little intense. Are those bats in the Philippines that are the size of men? Have you seen those?
Bro, no.
That's what I'm saying. See what I'm saying? So now, like, that's my only thing. I love traveling. I love going to other countries, but I got to do a little research. And if something pops up on me, I'm whipping its ass. I'm just going straight into fight or flight mode, and most likely I'm gonna fight. So it'll be fun though, man. What about you, man? What you up to?
As you guys can see, different background. I'm in a hotel, man. I've been traveling like a lot these weekends, but it's been like family and friends events, which I absolutely love, right? So this weekend I'm in Summerville, South Carolina, and I am here to corner one of my really good friends. And he used to be, if you guys don't know, I was a pro MMA fighter at one point in my life, right? And the guy that coached me, his name is Joey Caballero, down in the UFC gym in Orlando, Florida. And he is having a pro jiu-jitsu match, right? So I'm up here and I'm here to help him out a little bit, corner him. And I'm just really excited to see these fights tonight, man. They got, I want to say like at least 20 on the card, man. Like it's gonna be some really great action-packed events. And I'm really excited because I get to bring my kids, right? And I get to show them, what it looks like on a professional level. So Joey's a black belt and he's going to get another black belt too. So it should be a really, really good match. And I'm excited. So hopefully, we're hoping to take the W. I'm just really, really excited to see it happen. And yeah, man. So that's what I'm doing right now. I think my wife's with the kids right now in the aquarium, and we're just kind of hanging out. So
I think that's going to be a great experience, man. It's going to be a great experience for the family, but for the kids too. I just kind of see it because, if y'all don't know, his kids are fighting now, training, right? And I think it's always good when you introduce a kid to something at that level, whether it's sports or whatever, football, whatever, and then showing them what it's like on the elite level too, So I think that'll be fun for you guys.
I'm just hoping they can start to retain a little bit because I brought them to another jiu-jitsu tournament and like, I would have thought they would have paid attention like a lot longer, but their attention span's like 5 minutes. They're like, oh, that's cool. Oh, look what he did. He took him down, daddy. And then after that, it's like
they're done.
Go over here. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Done. So, but it's all good. But today's guest, man, we talked about family with Antoine Campbell as well. So we have Antoine Campbell for this episode. And a great dude. He is a businessman. He's like just a pure businessman through and through. He's ran several businesses right now, and he's doing real estate related businesses, virtual wholesaling, and then also virtual VA. So if you guys don't know, I'm doing wholesaling right now, and I've been in it for about a week and a half, right? This is wrapping up my first week and a half where we've had our cold caller and we've had these deals flowing in. I use his company to get my cold caller. She's doing awesome. Shout out to Anna. And then I have another virtual assistant, Jennifer. Shout out to them as well. They're doing great things for us and helping us grow. But But we got that from Antoine, and he just, this is a great episode, man. He's just we talk all about systems, we talk all about mindset, and we talk all about the family support system and how we can use our military skill set, right? The skills that we have into building our own business. Mike?
This is going to be one of the most relatable podcasts that we've had to date. I think more people are going to resonate with Antoine's story, his mindset, and his progression. It goes from everything from starting working at McDonald's, right? Obviously working with his grandfather before that, but working at McDonald's, but using the knowledge there, believe it or not, to build out systems over time. And one of my best or my favorite parts of this entire interview was when he said he's a business owner first, right? He creates businesses as he goes along, and understanding the mindset in order to do that will answer majority of the questions for everybody who's looking to get started in real estate or looking to expand into the next level of real estate. So guys, without further ado, let's get right to it, man.
What's going on, Military Cashflow family? Welcome to another show. Antoine, we got Antoine Campbell today, right? Great guy. Hey, Antoine, thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate that. Would you mind telling us, our audience, a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you do in the real estate space?
Hey, my name is Antoine Campbell. I am a real estate investor. I mainly do virtual wholesaling up and down the East Coast, as well as I own a virtual assistant outsourcing agency. We help thousands of real estate investors across the country like yourselves scale your business utilizing virtual assistants from the Philippines.
I love that, man. The two key factors that you said, virtual on both of them, virtual wholesaling and the virtual assistant business. That means you're doing this thing from all over the country. But where are you based out of? And then what states or what regions do you kind of do business in?
So I currently live in Maryland. We got a few deals going on in San Antonio right now. We do deals in Macon, Georgia. We do deals up and down in Pennsylvania. And we do a few deals here and there in North Carolina.
One of the cool things, right? I mean, when you're virtual, you can pretty much work anywhere, right?
Yeah. So a lot of the clients in our VA business, they like yourselves, military personnel who's all over the place, but they're passionate to still try to get into real estate. So we created systems and processes to teach them how to, run their business, even though they're on duty. So we got clients that's, stationed in Japan on a ship. We got clients in Germany. We got clients from Pakistan, all over the world. So you can really do virtual wholesaling if you got a system and a team with you to really do this business virtually.
I love it, man. That's going to be really important for all y'all listening in the military who says, I can't do it because I'm deployed. I can't do it because I'm moving. That's bullshit. Antoine got a solution, right? So I want to back this up a little bit though. So obviously you're in a place now where you were able to build these systems and create these companies in a sense, but where did the mindset for that actually start? What kind of influenced that through your childhood and your adulthood?
Shout out to my granddad. He passed away about 1.5 years ago. Not because of COVID, but during COVID. I worked with him since I was a little boy, since I was about 9 years old, worked on the back of the pickup truck. He did a lot of renovations for fix and flippers here in the Washington, D.C. region. And I used to see these houses look like crack houses. And then like 6 months later, we go back in there and these houses look like 2022. So it was amazing. And that kind of like got to me. And I was one of the kids that stayed up late at night. And I used to watch infomercials. And I used to see the dude running down the beach with the 6-pack talking about, real estate allowed me to do this. I'm like, I gotta figure out how to do this real estate thing, because I know that, everybody made their real money from real estate. So as a child, I worked on the weekends with my granddad, helped him in his remodeling construction business. And he gave me a work ethic. He gave me, he had a second grade education. His mom and dad kicked him out when he was like 13 years old. He left the family farm down in Wallace, North Carolina, some small town, like 300 people. And he just hit the road and came to the D.C. with a big, great migration. So a lot of Black Americans, African Americans came from the South to up north to the Washington, D.C., Philly region for work. And, a lot of our grandparents work hard. They work with their hands, you know what I mean? So that's what gave me the work ethic that I have today.
Love that, man.
That's awesome, dude. Shout out to your granddad, man. That's great, man. Super influence. So he had a large influence on you and what you saw as a child, and that developed into, you know, the hard work ethic. And what about the systems and I guess putting it all together, right? Did he influence you in that as well, or was it?
No, he was just a straight hard working, roll up your sleeves and work till you die type of man. The systems came in. I got a job in the state of Maryland. You can start working at 9 months. So my first job, W-2 job, was at McDonald's, and it was amazing how McDonald's took these 15-year-old kids and were able to create a system that allowed them to replicate everything over and over again with the same consistency. What I mean by that is, if you the same McDonald's you go into Orlando, Florida, if you go to the same McDonald's in San Antonio, Texas, the Big Mac is the same way. So I realized that, I like systems. And they put me in the grill. I became like a grill manager. I was responsible for the grill. The next thing you know, they put me on inventory. So I was responsible for the truck and food costs. And I started learning all this stuff. So by the time I turned 18, I graduated Carlson High School 2007. By the time I turned 18, I was still working at McDonald's. I picked up another job of delivering pieces. I was supposed to get in real estate there. I wanted to become a realtor. So in my head, I thought getting in real estate is you got to become a realtor. Well, my mother and father went through a terrible divorce. And then, the great crash hit in 2008, 2009. At the time, that's when I graduated. I decided to stay delivering pieces and working at McDonald's. So my friend at the time, Jeremy, gave me a call and said, "Yo, if this hotel hiring, they hiring anybody on the spot. It's such a massive hiring that you can't even go down there. You have to park at the racetrack and get shuttled down on a big coach bus." So we hopped on this coach bus. It felt like we were going to a concentration camp the way they had it. Yeah. I'll be honest with you guys, like, I didn't have confidence in myself at the time. I just said, I just want a job, like anything better than McDonald's. So I went down there, and it was this big African dude, big. I'm talking about like buff, big, cut, shredded. He like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm doing good. My name Bob." I said, "My name Antoine. You want a job?" I said, "Man." He said, "What you want to do?" I said, "Shit, I wash dishes if you allow me. That's all I care." And he said, "Well, you're talking to the right person, because I'm the dishwasher manager here." And he said, "I'm gonna give you a job." And I said, "How much you gonna pay me?" He said, $12.40 an hour. And at the time, I was making like $8.25. I just thought I hit to make $1 million. I said, "Yes." I said, "I take the job. I take the job." And from that time, they did the hiring in January, early January. I didn't start to that February 29th. And the reason why I remember, because February 29th, if you guys don't know, it's a leap year. Mm-hmm. So to me, I thought it was special because it only comes around every 5 years. And so I started on February 29th. And from that time, from January to February, I was still working at McDonald's. And the way the management was treating me, and they found out how much I was making, I was just like, "Yo, I'm out of here." And I put in my 2 weeks. And once I got to the hotel, guys, that's when my life transformed. Because what happened was I always loved business. I always studied business. I did so many things as a child: sold candy, washed cars, cut grass, you name it. I did everything to feel like I was going in the direction of business. And then the hotel was my 5-year mastermind. I stayed there for 5 years and I learned everything. Now, let me tell you the thing that I learned about this hotel. I worked in banquets, washed dishes, ran events. So you guys probably in the military, you had to go to some type of event and it was in somebody's hotel for the military, ball or something. You did that before. So one of the things I learned was a lot of the big companies, Fortune 500 companies, they would have these events at the hotel, and everything they was trying to accomplish as a company, they would put in these booklets. And then they would leave all these booklets everywhere. And then I started collecting these booklets from IBM and from Cisco and all these different companies. And I just started to read how the systems, everything was surrounded around systems. So then as I started to become a manager, I realized they had systems. And they took me to leadership and training. And literally, I started my first business just off systems, purely systems. So I'm a systems guy first. So before I do anything, I try to see, is there a way I can systematize this? Even if I got to do it myself first. And if it's not, I won't do it. So that's where we at.
I love that, man, because everything from the McDonald's experience, right? Seeing the systems that were so whatever you want to call it, so easy to understand that 15-year-olds can just be mass producing the same product, all the way to saying, hey, the hotel industry has mastered this. And then you copy those booklets and you saw those systems there. I think that's extremely important because it's building out systems that are not just for you. A good system is where somebody who's 15 with no knowledge of business can come in and operate. But I love that story, man. That's amazing. And that just shows your ability to kind of take advantage of the opportunities that were presented to you, right? You had the right mindset and attacked it. So I love that piece, man.
Yeah, I want to touch on how you were finding the value, right, of whatever position you were put in, right? And again, we talked about the McDonald's, and you were like, hey, man, I'm noticing these systems that are happening with the 15-year-olds, talking about going to the hotel. Hey, I'm noticing these different systems. I'm noticing these different booklets from other companies that are outlining systems. And now you're looking at that value and you're implementing it into your own business, right? I think that's something that's super important, especially as we talk to a lot of service members who may be young, right? And a lot of times we don't notice those things. We're not looking around to, I guess, to build our future selves, if that makes sense.
Right.
And we're just kind of in the thick of things, and we're not noticing those little things. So as you're listening to this, if you're a young soldier, regardless of whatever experience level you're at, right? Just take note of that. When you go to these little silly events, or you go to these little silly things, notice the things that are happening around you, because you can easily implement those into whatever system or whatever business that you're trying to grow for yourself. I love that.
Exactly.
Always learning. So tell us, all right, so we got the backstory about you learning systems and you getting your work ethic. Now, what did that transition into real estate look like after spending 5 years within that hotel industry?
So I spent 5 years in the hotel, making great money. They promoted me when I was 21. Yeah, I got my promotion at 21. So they promoted me in 3 years, I think. And I stayed there for additional 2 years after that. They promoted me when I was 21. I told you I wasn't going to talk about money, but I'll just give you a little bit. I was making $64,000 a year in salary, 21 years old. And the average person that I was managing was old enough to be my mom or dad. So I literally had to learn how to demand and command respect without being disrespectful, and learn how to strategize to motivate people. How the hell do you motivate people that's double your age and that's making less to you, and say, this is, you still got to do your job? I realized that a lot of people felt some type of way, like, yo, I've been here all these years and they gave him a promotion, they didn't promote me. And that really tested my skills early in my life. So, once I told my wife that I still want to do real estate, I need to find a way out, I had to strategize. So, every year everybody get their tax returns. If you're not making over $250,000, you probably gonna get some money back in your taxes, right? So I said, okay, well, we're getting $10,000 back this year. Let's do something with it. So my dad, he sold tags. He sold paper tags on the side. I don't know how long, you can come back and charge somebody for that, but it's been over 20 years. So I think he's pretty good. My dad sold paper tags on the side, and I seen like he makes so much great money with it. And then I knew for a fact that I didn't want to be in a business that carried a lot of overhead or inventory or something that needed a lot of startup capital. So here in the state of Maryland, you can open up what we call a mobile DMV, where you can go, to this office and create an office. Customers can come in there and they can get their tags. I'm not sure about your guys' DMV, but our DMV, that's like a whole day process. You got to literally take off work to get to the DMV. Right. So I realized that, I can open this DMV up with this $10,000. So I told my wife, I said, listen, what are we going to do with this $10,000? We're going to go buy a brand new couch set, buy the kids some clothes, and we're going to be broke in 2 months. Yep. Let's take this $10,000 and throw it all into this business idea, and let's try to get ahead. Because I knew that they was going to try to fire me because I was so young, and the union, they weren't really representing me good. So once they made that move to get rid of me, which they did, and it was okay, I already had my business. Now, I'm going to tell you something. My business wasn't doing as great, but the moment they got rid of me, I came home and I cried to my wife. I just bought a brand new 2013 Dodge Charger, only had like 200 miles on it, crazy. And I'm like, yo, like they got rid of me. They let me go. Now, I cried for about 30 minutes. And then I wiped them tears away and say, yo, I got a business that we started like 6 months ago. It's not doing as great. I'm going to put all my energy into this. I remember that I used to make at least $100 a day. I told you I wasn't going to talk about money, but I got to kind of give you some substance to show you what happened. I used to make $100 a day delivering pieces on the side, like in tips. And, you know, they paid me on the table, whatever. So I said, that's enough for me to pay my bills personally while I grow my business. Right. So I made the sacrifice not to go get another better job and go into a hotel. And I literally deliver pieces at night and work that business during the daytime. Now, we struggled for another 6 months, I admit. But something about that 6 months worth of consistency, things started to turn around. And then we started to hit $20,000, $30,000 months. And I never made that much money in my life. Now, 2 years into that business, I realized that business didn't serve me. It was just a temporary thing, and I wasn't happy. And I looked at my wife and said, yo, I really want to do real estate. And she told me, if real estate is what you want to do, go ahead and do it. So I literally walked away from that entire business, multiple six figures, and jumped straight into real estate. Now, I won't tell anybody else to do that, but we had savings. And I jumped straight into real estate, and I told her, listen, give me 1 year. If this don't work, in 1 year, I will go back to a job or do, you know, sell my tags, do whatever I got to do to feed my family. But give me 1 year to make this work. And literally, I just, you know, hopped on a YouTube thing. I was going to local meetups. I did all of that stuff. I call that being fake busy. But then the moment I really started to invest in my business, like hire VAs and create the systems and processes, that's when my business turned around.
Yeah. All right, so there's a few things. There's one thing I really want to go back and hit, but understanding that consistency is important, guys, and the fact that you proved the model by building out a business that you knew was going to make you some cash and then decided to move into real estate. I also think that took a lot of insight and foresight as well, because you had to prove it first before putting all your eggs in one basket. But let's go back to, this is something that military folks have a big issue with. You said that you were promoted at 21 and you had to figure out how to command respect without being disrespectful to folks that's your mama's age. You know what I mean? Exactly. Now in the military, we have officers coming in all the time, 21 years old, or sergeants at 22. And now they got to command, you know, multiple people, whether it's a squad or platoon, whatever the case is. So could you talk about that a little bit? What are some of the lessons you learned and how to build that trust and to build that motivation in a group that, you know, almost looks down on you in a sense?
Yeah. So some of the lessons I learned was you can't be everybody's friend. So I had to make it strictly business, right? So because I'm literally, they made a point to always remind me, hey, I got kids your age. It didn't stop me from doing my job. It didn't stop me from writing them up. It didn't stop me from asking to do something. It didn't stop me from pushing them, even though I know they're older, because I had to come to a realization that they made these decisions, and no disrespect to anybody, to live their life at such a normal rate that time will swallow them up and they won't be where they probably would like to be. That's why I had to tell myself. And it's not my fault that I should feel bad that's where they at in their life. I got to continue to do what I got to do. And literally, as I demanded the respect and as I told them this is what we're doing, I talked to them, I treated them like a manager. They started to obey me. They started to listen to me. They started to respect me because age is just a number. Psychologically, these people are still like 20, 23, 24. They haven't really grown up. Some of these people are immature. Some of these people still cheating on their wives. They still running. Like, I'm not trying to get that much details, but what I'm saying is it's a mindset blockage. And, you know, for us, you know, certain people that may be 21, 22, ever heard somebody say, yeah, this guy, he act like he's 50 years old, even though he's 21, or you ever heard somebody say this child, he was born before because he seems so mature. So, like, I realized that it's all mindset. And once you get over that bump, you're good to go.
I love that, man. That's important for everybody, all these young leaders out there that's listening to that. Remember, just follow the SOP. That's all he did. Write them up when they need to be written up. You know what I'm saying? Follow the rule book. Just talk to them like humans, but just be firm. Just saying, hey,
control your, one more thing I'm going to say. Control your ego and understand that your power is very powerful. Don't abuse it. So I stuck to that, and, you know, people, they started liking me and respect me. And I always kept the business no matter what.
One other thing I'd like to ask about is there's another common thing that you keep saying, and it's kind of like a little overlooked, but I'm sure it's a huge thing, but your support system. every transition that you went through, whether it went from, start at the hotel, getting let go from the hotel, and then saying, hey, I want to start the DMV style business. And then from there, hey, I need another year to go into real estate. You had a support system in your wife, right?
Yes.
So I want to talk about family just a little bit, because we all have, a lot of us, at least a lot of our listeners, young members, and they have families and they're starting off and they're afraid to take that risk because, hey, I got to support the family. What do you say to them, and how were you able to navigate that and get through that?
So for me, everything is always aligned to the end goal, which is family, right? Yeah. I'm not going to try to sound too cliche, but when we created the tag business, the purpose of that to be able to provide for our family no matter what. A job, when I signed my union contract, it said that I was an at-risk employee. I'm not sure if you know what that means. An at-risk or at-will employee is basically saying you can be fired or terminated for any reason at any given time, and there's no 2-week notice, nothing. They can just let you go. So, and that was always in the back of my head. I was always like, yo, that urgency. So, when I got with my wife, we created some type of understanding. What do you want to accomplish in your life? What I want to accomplish in my life. And no matter what, we're never going to compromise our goals, personal goals and dreams for each other, right? And you have to have that alignment. I think a lot of people, they don't have that tough conversation at first. And they assume that the person's supposed to read their mind. And so if I'm telling my wife, like, this is what I want, this is what I'm manifesting, this is what I want to do, then she's going to understand that this is important to me, right? Maybe the timing is off. Maybe she might say, yo, the timing's kind of bad. Let's kind of wait. But she understands the objective, just like I understand the objective for her.
Yo, that's so important, dude. Like that, the role that the significant other that you choose plays on your success in life, right? The mindset's got to be aligned, right? And the goals they don't necessarily have to be aligned, but that understanding has to be there. So I love that you touched specifically on that. And I'm assuming, having that family helped, be able to fall back on with that support system, and then also create that sense of urgency. Hey, I can't fail, man. I got people depending on me, right? So
exactly. And also, I get a little small side story. So, at my office, there's some young guys that work in there that do real estate, and I walk past him. He's sitting at the table saying, "Hey, what's up? What's wrong? Are you good?" "Nah, I'm not good. My girl mad at me. Can you give me some advice? Because they know I'm married for 11 years." I said, "Sure. What's the issue?" "Well, we're going to Colombia next week, and she's mad about that." I said, "Okay, great. Let me ask you, did you ask her, can you go to Colombia, or did you tell her you was going to Colombia?" So no, I told her. I said, "That's your issue. Even though she's your girlfriend, you always got to make people feel involved in the decision making. And the minute that you start to overlook that stuff, that's when things get bad." So one of the things I always tell people, if you're in the military, man, always be intentional in the decision making you make, because everything you do impact everybody around you. You guys are a unit. Even at home, you're still a unit, your team. So, if that means you sacrificing, most of the mergers is made up of me sacrificing things that I want so she can be happy, and she sacrificing things that she wants so I can be happy. And that's all marriage is. It's a seesaw. It's a sacrifice. And once you get that concept down pat, I'm telling you, you can go anywhere in your life and be successful.
Yo, before you get married, rewind that piece and listen to that again. That was amazing. I love that you touched on that. Excellent.
There's a big, I'm a single guy. I'm in a committed relationship, but I'm not married, haven't been married. And one of the issues with military folks, especially the single guys out there, is we always, the ego gets in the way. Just like you talked about on leadership, ego gets in the way. And a lot of times you got to be humble. And it's not about being weak. It's not. If anything, it makes you stronger. You're more mature of a man to be able to say, "Hey, I know where my morals align. I know that I can sacrifice some things to make you happy and to build something with you." And I think, for all the men out there with the big egos, especially our military folks, I'm talking to y'all listening. You sit down and have that conversation with yourself, man, because if you want to grow in life, you're going to need to do it with people, right? They say if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you got to have a group. Right. So I love that. Rewind that. So let's talk about your first deal, man. I mean, it's a slight transition into real estate. We've been talking about that move. Now you start this real estate company and you have this year to prove to your wife that you can do it. What did it look like coming out the gate?
So my first technically deal was he just called my phone. I had to send him a voicemail. He's still my friend to this day. I don't have many friends. I can count on my hands how many people I actually call friends, right? There's a difference between friends and good business associates.
Yep.
He came to me as I was running my tag business, like, yo, I got this deal. And he knew I was always wanting to do real estate. I got this deal. We got this house. Everything's good to go. The only issue is she needs some money to move. I said, okay, what you telling me for? Well, if you help me with this, I let you be a part of the deal. I said, okay, great. How much you need? 2,500. I said, oh, that's nothing. Told my wife about it. She was living like, oh, what are you giving this lady 2,500? How you know she's not gonna move out? Blah blah. You know, the wife is always in your best interest. To you, that may sound bickering and all that, but that's your insurance policy kicking in and underwriting everything you're doing in your life, your mistakes, right? And that's what you gotta have. And she like, I don't know about this. And then I let Corey explain to her, that's my friend name, my best friend. He said, and then she got happy, like, okay, we're gonna do it. So went to the Navy Federal, got this $2,500 cashier check. We did the deal. Long story short, ended up making like $6K off the $2,500 investment. And I got hooked. I'm like, yo, this is easy money. All I had to do is like just do my part and I make a big check. Okay, great. So my actual first formal deal was a fix and flip in Washington, D.C. I was hanging at the meetups, the RIAs and all that, spending all this money trying to learn education. Now, I'm not against that, but just have a strategy when you're starting to spend money. Don't emotionally spend money because you're thinking that spending money is going to summons my success. That's not true, right? I know people that spend tens of thousands of dollars in their real estate business and haven't done a deal. So one of the things I did was say, I'm going to create a purpose. And I started calling title companies. And I say, yo, and I'm just talking the talk. Hey, listen, I know there's a bunch of people letting you guys down. A lot of these wholesalers can't get across the finish line. If you come across anything that you need closed, I'm your guy. Give me an opportunity. If it makes sense, I reach out to the sellers, I get it closed and make you like the hero. 2 days later, the title company called me, hey, Mr. Campbell, we got your voicemail. I got a great deal for you. Man, they were sending me leads. I went uptown, met this lady, Miss Angelica. She had no emotional attachment to the house. I didn't know that part. And it was left to her son. So like the ex-husband, mother died and left it to her son. He was the only child. The house was worth maybe $350 as is, no, about $400,000 as is. Fixed up, it was worth maybe $550,000, $600,000 at the time. And so I told her, yeah, I can get this house. And mind you, all this is I'm still learning. So I went to I met a hard money lender at the meetup. The only thing I got from the meetup was that damn hard money lender, all the money I spent. I told him, yo, I got this house. He said, great. He sent me over a term sheet. They'll do the deal, but I had to bring $67,000 to the table. At the time, I had money, but not like that. You know what I mean? So I went to the seller because I knew that she had a bad deal before, and I didn't want to let her down. And I told her, like, listen, you're about to get $337,000 cash back, right? I need $67,000 as a loan for about 12 months, and I'll pay you back every single penny and interest, right? You're going to earn money on the money that ain't even yours technically. And this is the only way this deal going to close. So she gave me the money. I didn't tell her how money what I did. The day it closed, they called, cussed me out. Why didn't you tell us you ain't have all the money, this and that, this? And I said, listen, and I learned this from working in a hotel, just being straight to the point with people. Listen, I understand. I maybe I didn't tell you. I wasn't being unethical. I didn't know, honestly. I just needed to come up with some money, and she was willing to give me some money. Now, listen, you'll get commission from this deal. The company is going to have a great asset in their portfolio. This is one of the second deals you guys did in the D.C. area. You guys are primarily Baltimore. You told me you wanted to break into the D.C. market. This will be great for your investors. Everybody happy. Let me do the deal. So long story short, they told me that they're gonna put some of the money in escrow, so they had to end up putting like $30,000 in escrow. And I put the difference. So they wanted me to put up 20, I put up the 20, and then next thing you know, it was 30,000 escrow. I did the deal, ended up making 45,000. Now I'm gonna tell you that was like a high level mastermind because I made every mistake known to me. And what I mean by that is I trust people. I got burned by multiple contractors, sloppy work, had to redo half the house over again. But we end up selling and still making $45K to the grace of God. So I won't tell anybody to do that on their first deal, but I learned a whole lot on that for my first deal.
That's excellent, man. You just went, it sounds like you kind of went through the ringer with that one, but the key piece is that, you took that experience and you used it, for future, that knowledge, basically. Failed forward, they call it failing forward, right? So but you're able to close it out and get it done, man. That's the key thing, just that the consistency and keep going. I want to give people some actionable steps though, right? So we talked about your first deal, doing the I guess just partnering with a friend, and then now you're talking about actually flipping. But you're the meat of it seems like your business is, one, the virtual assistants, and two, the actual virtually wholesaling, right?
Correct.
Because I want to talk about that a little bit, right? Some actionable steps for people just now jumping in and like actually getting into this. What do you say to them?
So if you're jumping into this, especially if you're military personnel, go virtual. Don't lie to yourself and say, I'm gonna have time to set up these seller houses at that table and build rapport. You don't have the time. So go virtual. That way, if you get stationed or sent somewhere, your business doesn't stop, right? So understand the virtual model. Find somebody to study. It don't have to be me. It could be anybody that you trust. Match yourself with a person's personality and pay for the information, right? Once you do that, pick maybe 2 to 3 different virtual markets. The easiest way to do it, I'm gonna give you some good souls, is that find a big main market and then go 30 minutes away. So let's look at Charlotte, right? Go Google Charlotte. Once you Google Charlotte, you want to look for sub-cities 30 minutes driving distance within Charlotte with populations between 25,000 and 75,000. Then you want to pull a list. The easiest list you can pull, especially brand new, and you don't want to really get into seller psychology, is a tire landlord. Why? Because they're already in real estate, they know the game, and it's strictly a transaction to them. There's no emotional attachment most of the time for them. Pull your tire landlord list and start hitting up every landlord that you know that have a vacant property, that have a long-term property, or in prop stream, you can stack properties that, let's say, for example, you want to put a tire landlord list and they have 2 or more mortgages on their property and it's vacant. Guess what? Landlord's not in the business to be paying mortgages. They're in the business to be getting cash flow checks. So that right there is 80% of the work. You got your motivated landlords, you got people interested in selling. Now you just need to find who's going to do the work for you. Be real with yourself. A lot of people in start real estate have not been realistic. If you know that you got work from 9 to 5, you're married, you have children. There's no way in hell you can tell me you're going to be consistent enough when you get home. You're going to put your family in the background just to focus on real estate from 6 to 9 o'clock. That's not going to work. Maybe 2 days out the week you can get away with it, but pretty soon you're going to put issues on your marriage. So you need to come up with a plan for who's going to do your cold calling, who's going to do your texting, and then you need to set up times and days and set the expectations to your wife that, okay, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays from 6 to 8, I'm going to do my acquisition calls. That's where the compromise come in, guys. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to spend Saturday with you. I'm going to spend Sunday with the kids, and Friday is just a random take care of whatever I got to take care of day. That's the only way this business is going to work. And I don't think nobody giving this advice out to that granular for military personnel or people that has a revolving career where you don't know where you're going to be next week.
Yo, it's crazy. You just gave out the goods in like 30 seconds. I was like,
yeah, everything, man. Yeah. And so for those who didn't hear it, he literally gave you the playbook, like no bullshit, down to the penny. That's exactly what you need to do. Rewind it. Everything from how to find the market and then how to use prop stream. He told you what to look for. But I really want to hit on the point where you talked about so many people into this industry with this mindset, like, oh, I'm gonna do it all myself. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go work and then I'm gonna get back and I'm gonna do all the cold calls and then I'm gonna go evaluate the property and then I'm gonna go. As soon as you get a list that has 1,000 people on it, 500, 100 people on it, how the hell are you gonna contact them all? How are you going to contact them all before Antoine and his team get to them before you do? Because he's doing it virtually. So you have to think about these systems, man.
That was amazing. Now, a lot of this, I'm asking selfishly, and for the audience out there, you guys know that I just started wholesaling. I've been doing buy and hold investing for a while, right? And I just started wholesaling, and that's one of the reasons why I definitely wanted to have you on here, because I use your service, right? I one of my cold callers right now, and her name is Anna. I got her from B1, right? So
appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey man, that's what all about. I love it. So I use your service, and she's making calls. She's been giving me some hot leads. There's no way, she's going through, I think, about 300 or 400 calls of a day, just her alone, right? That she's actually connecting with, right? So this stuff definitely works, and it helps when you can use a system and then you can leverage people's time, right?
Yeah. Because the VAs, let me explain that to people real quick. The VAs is a currency loophole where you're hedging the value of the dollar against the Filipino peso to get an awesome employee. You know, where in the world can you pay somebody $4 an hour to do everything you shouldn't be doing? You know, so if you can't justify $4 an hour, you shouldn't even be doing this. Go find something else to do. No disrespect to nobody. You know, $100 a week. You can sacrifice $100 a week by not eating Chick-fil-A every day.
Yep.
You can sacrifice $100 a week by just eating noodles for a couple of months, if that was what it takes. In business, and this is what I think a lot of people understand, you're a business owner. You're not just making some extra side hustle money. You're a legitimate business owner. In business, the owner gets paid last. So you got to be prepared to invest in your business and spend money and know that this is an investment and that sometimes investments comes with risk. And once you make that risk to say, yo, is it worth paying somebody $4 an hour to make 100 calls an hour for me? Ask yourself that question.
You know, that's the difference, though, between somebody who's going to play in this game, like just play around, and somebody who's going to be successful. Because you said it, you hit the nail on the head. Business owners get paid last, right? People who are out there just doing it all themselves and they just want an additional hobby. Cool, that's on you, right? But if you run a scale, you got to do exactly what Anton's talking about. Now, I got a question for you because this, I'm sure, comes up often. You probably heard this before. Somebody says that's just wrong to hire a VA. Why would we pay somebody only $4 an hour? But you hit it on, you touched on it a little bit about the currency exchange. Can you talk about that a little bit?
So let me tell you something. I leave everything with systems, facts, numbers. I love that. I'm just like a unannounced geek, if that makes any sense. In the Philippines, their rent, the average rent in the Philippines is 125 USD dollars. Now let's look at a military personnel. I'm not trying to bash them, but I'm just trying to show you the realistic of how we are messed up in this country financially. We don't even know it. The average rent is 125 US dollars. If I pay a VA $4 an hour, 40 hours a week, that's $160. Do the math. The first paycheck, they clear their rent if I'm paying them by the week. And here in America, most people, their average rent is maybe $1,500 to $2,000. You know, on the East Coast. The West Coast probably a whole lot higher. For a great apartment. I'm not talking about a shack. I'm basing it on a great livable apartment that you will move your children and your wife into. The average paycheck is less than $500-$600 a week here in America. So when you do the math, it's going to take you almost 2 to 3 checks just to get your rent paid. These people doing it in one check, and they're doing it with less. So I'm telling you, the hedge in the value of the dollar and inflation, this country is printing money. So, you know, eventually this model might not work if they continue to print money because our dollar ain't going to be worth anything. But until then, we're going to run it up. So the whole point is, they're financially in a better situation than most people here in this country is. That's all I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. And I love it. And that's exactly what the point I was hoping you were going to hit, because you're right. We're actually providing them above average wages for what they can expect. They could work locally in their own country, wherever, but hell, they can work for us virtually and live just as good, if not better. So now for all those people who are concerned, why would I pay somebody $4? You're now improving the quality of life of an entire family over there, and you're getting your business to scale. So virtual assistants is something that everybody should be considering at some point, you know, in their business building. For sure.
And that's one thing I definitely noticed too. I mean, both of my assistants, so I've hired one, I'm going through the interview process with the second, right? And both of them have degrees. Both of them have, you know, marketing degrees, you know, they're very well educated, very well spoken. They're extremely knowledgeable on what they're doing, right? So just think about that.
So I'll give you an example. This is a great pod. It's probably one of the best podcasts I've done in a long time. Usually I can take it 30 minutes, but I'm going to take it as long as I can. My children has been homeschooled for the last 3 years. Last year, we decided to hire a VA to do the teaching. Now, it's funny, this VA was here in America, but due to COVID, America decided not to extend her visa or her little passport thing, whatever it is. So she had to go back to the Philippines. So she went back to the Philippines, took less money. She makes $6 an hour with me. I just gave her a promotion, a raise, $1. She was making $5. She made $6 an hour, man. She told me, Mr. Campbell, I was able to buy 2 houses with that $6 an hour. So now she got one house she live in, the other house she rent, plus I pay her $6 an hour. She's happy. She teaches my children. She has a master's degree in education. She's very educated. She's very smart. And I decided that I don't want my children involved in the education scene. Now, why I'm telling you this, because there's a lot of traveling families out there that's in the military. that don't know where their children stand in education. The quality of education is dipped in this country. And you can use the VAs. I'm just opening people's eyes. You can use the VAs, not just for cold call. It's a bunch of things. The next time you call a service provider, Papa John's or Sprint or T-Mobile, listen to that person confident of it on the phone. I guarantee they're from the Philippines.
Yep.
Everybody's been using VAs buzz. And once I figured that out, that this been a play for the last 30 years, 20 years, I said, I'm going to continue to use VAs. My entire business is compromised with nothing but VAs. You work with us, you seen the onboarding process, you seen that it's a great way to run your business.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk with you offline, because especially that piece right there, this is, I guess, a small sidebar, but we have because of the education system in Georgia, it's not very good, especially where I'm at right now. We've been hiring tutors literally just to make sure that our kids stay at or above what I think is a national level, not Georgia's level, but what I think it's a national level, right? So, and that costs money, man. It's pretty damn expensive, right? So that's definitely something I'm gonna have to look into now. I didn't even consider that at all.
I love it. I will never switch it. My children love it. They love their teacher. She's been with us. She's been with us over a year, some months now. They go to school. Even during like the summer months, they went to school because it's only 2 hours a day. It's compressed education. When you look at, by the time you switch classes and you do your warm up and all that, you only have 15 minutes to learn each class period. So when I realized that, they can just get in here, get a dedicated teacher, get their questions answered. There's no way hell you can tell me that children that's in virtual school publicly is learning anything when there's 35 other kids in Zoom interrupting every 3 seconds. There's no way you can tell me.
My God, dude,
I agree, because they got the iPad over here. They got whatever. There's no way that they're learning. And now you really you hit on something that was I thought is key, and especially when you start to study business, because everything is in levels, right? People that are listening may just be getting started, or it may be, hey, I'm actually trying to build in the systems to grow the enterprise. But you said everybody uses virtual assistants.
Everybody. Every big corporation got, and let me tell you how they're doing. They might not directly have them working for them. They may pay a consultant company, and that consultant company may pay an agency like my company. But I guarantee you, they got virtual assistants because it makes sense.
Yep, it does. And so that's why.
Why would you pay a call center rep here $18 an hour to do something that somebody in the Philippines do for $3 an hour and be happy?
Exactly. We always, when we pick up a customer service and they sound like they're from the Middle East, the Philippines, a Latin American country, that's exactly what Antoine is talking about. So let me ask you this, just because you said a VA can do many different things. Just briefly run through a couple things outside of cold calling. Let's just talk about day-to-day life that they might be able to come to your company and hire a VA for.
Man, you can have VAs for developers, software design. I have a VA that does all my coding for my websites and businesses. One of my VAs is my COO. I had a VA to do my accounting. They help me with my books and stuff. Anything, as long as the position requires a telephone, or it requires a telephone or a working computer, you can outsource it. Like,
I love that.
Anything.
I love that. So everybody needs to have their creative juices flowing, because that right there, a phone or a computer being required, that's it. You can do it virtually.
Yep.
I love that, man.
That's excellent, dude. Hey, so I'm not going to take up too much of your time. Just kind of wrap up here just a little bit, right?
You're fine, bro. Take your time.
All right. Well, then I'm going to ask another question. Then, all right. All right. So we talked about the systems. We talked about you pretty much gave the quick blueprint of how to wholesale or how to do some of these things virtually, especially as a military member, right? What are some of the other, I guess, key systems that you're implementing into your wholesale business, right? That's kind of making it work. I guess a better question is you got your lead generation, you got your acquisition, you got your disposition, right? How is that set up for you?
So my lead generation, we have cold callers and SMS managers that do all my cold calling and texting. That's our cold lead generation side of the business. Then we have the acquisition side, which I participate in. We have VAs that do acquisition for me too as well. And we only talk to people that's interested in even hearing an offer or that's interested in selling in the next 60 days. We build what we call a pipeline. I think that what a lot of people do is they get a lead, they call them, no, I'm not interested, that the price is too low, and they forget about them. Now, any person that runs a legitimate business understands that 80% of the people that do business with you is going to do business with you on the 6th or the 7th or the 8th follow-up call or touch.
Touches.
So you got to understand that consistency is your key tool in your business. And the only way to do that is to have a software that reminds you, hey, call this person back, or it automatically text them back, or email them, or something like that. There's no way in hell you can tell me you're going to remember 300-400 leads to call them back, to keep up rapport and all that stuff. So you have to build what I call a dam, like a pipeline. You know what the purpose of a dam is to conserve water and consistently let it drip. So that's the same thing with your leads. You want to build as much leads as you can and to consistently let them fall over into signed contracts. So if I got actively 1,000 people into my portfolio that express interest in selling at some point, well, guess what? I know at some point, even if a person say, no, I'm not interested right now, everybody's one car accident, one medical issue away from having to sell a house, you know? And how I know this, because I know that where we at financially as a country, you know, they say nearly 60% of Americans don't even have $500 saved in their savings account. So if I know that, and I know that everybody's living paycheck to paycheck, the minute that you get into a bad accident or God forbid you're diagnosed with cancer, your ability to be a motivated seller changes overnight. And the only way to know that is consistency. So if I'm consistently following up, most of my deals, and this is the ultimate secret sauce, there's nothing special about it. Most of my deals came from being at the right place at the right time. When the big investors say, yo, how you get that deal? Oh, we just kept calling him. Oh, we called him and, you know, he found his wife cheating on him. He just wanted to sell everything. It's a lot of situations like that. And it's all about being at the right place at the right time, listening and understanding how to position an offer to solve their problems. Once you figure it out, you can print money.
I love that, man. You're exactly right. It's, you know, we try to coach some of our junior agents and some junior investors or whatever the case is. It's about that consistency, because right place, right time accounts for everything in life, guys. Every opportunity that you'll ever run across is because you was in the right place at the right time. It's where, you know, luck is what? Where preparation meets opportunity, right?
Exactly.
You prepare yourself and you study and you bust your ass and you know what's going on. And then all of a sudden, hey, I'm just happen to be there when she's ready to cry. You know, I got it. I got the deal. So that is extremely important. And he touched on something else. Studying business is studying marketing, is studying efficiency, is studying sales. The point where Antoine talked about 8 touches, that's something that we all know about if you're studying sales. And what does he mean? 8 touches, 8 attempts, a phone call, a text, an email, that's all a touch. It's going to take on average about 8 of those bad boys before somebody says, all right, I trust you enough to talk to you and start doing business. You can't do that without having those CRMs and those systems.
Exactly.
I love it, man. I love it. All right. So many people there are different layers in their journey, and you drop so many bombs. I really don't even know where to kind of target this question. But if you generally had one piece of advice for somebody, man, this is going, I would say for somebody starting their journey, maybe they're already working a job and they're contemplating building this side hustle. What would your piece of advice be to them?
So you know, I'm a business owner first. I don't get googly out on real estate. I don't get googly out on anything, right? My job is to create businesses that can, you know, the quicker I can minimize my day-to-day involvement, the happier I am. So I can go to the next project. I'm a project-driven guy. So one of the things that I'm telling people now is some of you guys might not be in a situation for real estate. This shit costs money. I don't understand how people tell you, oh, you can do that. No, it takes money. Fostering ain't free. Skip tracing ain't free. Your time, you have to pay yourself. So you need to set aside a little budget to give yourself, to incentivize yourself to do this work, or pay a VA or somebody. That stuff costs. So when I'm telling people, if you're straight from the mud, you don't have it, come up with a plan. Maybe you drive Lyft for Uber or Instacart. Take that money and pay for your VA. And then you're investing in your VA, and that's an investment. Then when you get that 10, 15,000 back, you don't spend it because that's the money that you owe yourself. You put that back and then you invest again. Another thing that I tell people is that maybe it's not the right time to do wholesaling or real estate. You can become a digital landlord. And what I mean by this, a concept I just created. Well, digital landlord is taking a talent or a skill that you may have. There's a bunch of military personnel. If I was a sharpshooter, if I was a gun specialist or a mechanic in the military, I would take them skills and record a course. Take my phone, record a course, put it on Teachable, pay somebody to run some ads and sell that information and literally print the money I need to create another business such as real estate wholesaling. We all have talents and skills that we can monetize. And why you become a digital landlord? Because you don't have to own rental properties to cash flow. You can own intellectual properties to cash flow. You can own all this type of stuff online. There's no better time to make money online than now. There's millions of ways to make money online. And if you're broke for a reason, because you haven't taken the time to recalibrate the way you think about money.
I love that fucking answer, man. We've never heard that broken down to where, hey, look, it ain't free. Go out there and work for some money and then reinvest it. I mean, yeah, it's a simple concept, but again, just getting it put to your face, hearing it at the right time, the right place, that's extremely powerful. And I think that will resonate with a lot more of our audience, for real.
I absolutely love the way that you phrase that, because we push that. We've said that several times throughout, the 100 and some episodes of our podcast, right? Hey, you have a skill. Every single person has a special skill that they have to figure out how to tap into, and then two, how to monetize, right? And that's just beautifully said, the way you did that, the way you explained that there. All you have to do is figure out how to monetize it, and you can leverage other people's time, right, to help you monetize that skill that you have. That's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, because even your audience is mostly military, right?
Yeah.
The military spend hundreds of millions of dollars in training and tactical defense and all this stuff for you guys. Why not take that information that they paid all this money for, use it? If I know how to disassemble guns, you know how many YouTube channels out here that people's trying to learn how to, reassemble guns and fix the cords on guns and all of that. If I know how to do that, record some videos, create a 3-part training tool, put it on ClickFunnels, put it on wherever for $99, and then maybe they like that, they then upsell them to a one-day event where they fly into your town and you show them how to do it for $1,000. You take that money, and that's your seed money to invest in whatever you want to do. So now, when you're investing in a wholesaling business, you're playing with house money because you really technically haven't put money on a credit card and thing. You took, so I'm telling people, everyone should have some type of digital assets, and that's your knowledge or something or whatever the case may be. You should be monetizing it.
That's the most truly form of passive income. That's one of the most truly forms of passive income. Once you make that material, just like our course, we made the material, and people pick that material up, and you can, keep going with. That's excellent. I've woken up plenty of times at like 1 o'clock in the morning to a message. Someone just purchased your course,
Yes, exactly. and let me tell you, I want to get this out of it because I never really probably talk about it. There's going to be people out here that's going to discourage you from buying information, right? There's going to be people out here that's going to say people sell courses are bad people. Let me tell you something. Information is always worth the money. If you're willing to go to the military, no disrespect, and most people, why you going to the military? Everybody that I knew that went to the military because they gave them free housing and free college, right?
Yep.
So if you're willing to sacrifice your life for information, or go to college and get in debt for $150,000, $200,000 for information that they're teaching that was created in the 80s, that's probably outdated, irrelevant. Why not go pay somebody for information that's 2021 souls, that's proven is working right now in today's market, and literally in 3 hours, you can leave out that information video and go out here in the street and recoup your money just as quickly as you paid for the money.
I'm going to piggyback on that one right there, because here's the thing. Just like you said, you can go out and pay for information for somebody who's doing it. Let's say it's $500. I don't care. Say it's $1,000. That's cool. But like you said, oh no, I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to go pay $150,000 for this 4-year degree that don't guarantee a job. Isn't going to teach me how to run a business. Anything. You guys got to look at who is giving you advice and see, hey, are they even in a position where I really want to listen to what the hell they're saying?
Right.
Think
about this. How can a college professor teach you business finance? Teach you how to run a business?
Never ran a business in our life.
Never
even had one. Never even tried.
So when I go and pay somebody $1,000 to teach me, how to, save something on my taxes, it's an investment in myself. And I think that the reason why people don't want to make investments in themselves because they truly not sold on themselves that they can do it. They know that, everything in my life I bullshit. I bought this course, I bought this, I bought that. This is another way to satisfy me being lazy. Because some people taking bad courses and then say, I bought it. Now where's the success? And it don't work that way.
Right. Man, I think that right there, that's deep. And that's something that I want everybody to rewind and listen to again, because a lot of success is driven by how you feel about yourself personally, about your mindset, about what you deserve in life. And everybody that's listening to this podcast, everyone deserves an opportunity. You have to give yourself that opportunity and that fighting chance. Man, Antoine, this has been great, man. I love everything that you shared with us and the time you spent. Now, I know everybody listening wants to reach out to you for your courses. They want to reach out to you for your VAs. They want to reach out to you to see what you're doing. What's the best way that people can find more information about you?
We live in a right now moment. So text me, 202-335-3322. Whatever you need, whatever you heard today, just text that to me. I got a team on standby. They'll respond to you. Sometimes I may respond to you. And we'll take care of you as much as possible. If you need a VA, if you want to learn virtual wholesaling, if you want to learn how to take your business to the next level, maybe you listen to that you got another business you're struggling with. I do a lot of consulting for different businesses because I'm a systems guy. Reach out to us and maybe we can find a solution for you to help you get to the next level.
Excellent, dude. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Hey, thanks so much for coming on the show. You just spit, diamonds, dude, diamonds and gold the entire time. And I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, thanks so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys for having me. Thank you.
Hey, with that said, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're on our face, or if you're listening to this on podcast, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. We really appreciate those. Leave a comment below, man. We appreciate that stuff too. If you don't know, come and join our Facebook group. We have about almost 3,000 service members on there right now. We're continually growing. We're in there every day, helping each other build wealth and create cash flow together. So make sure you do that. And with that said, this is Dan Wynn.
And Mike Glassby.
Signing off.